Allahu Akbar, Allah, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Dear viewers, thank you very much for joining us on Takbeer TV, SKY Channel 749. I'm SAJ Mahal. Welcome to tonight's edition of SAJ Mahal. Tonight's program is going to be a little bit different from previous ones in the sense that we don't have a particular subject. So it's an open mic evening. But as usual, we will have a studio guest. I shall introduce you to him very shortly. We will also have the live calls that you're welcome to ring up and talk about whatever subject that you wish to talk about, within reason obviously. Please keep it legal, moral and not too provocative and controversial. So, as I said, we've had in the past a particular subject, and we tend to find that you, dear viewers, call in and want to talk about something totally different. And I've felt always a little bit impolite trying to wean you off that subject and talk about what we wanted to talk about. So tonight's your opportunity. Get your questions ready. So it's practically anything that you wish to talk about. It could be about your favorite sports, maybe kabaddi or hockey, or maybe even the cricket tournament that's going on in Pakistan at the moment, the Pakistan Super League. It could be about marriages of your children, arranged marriages or internet, speed banking, that kind of thing perhaps. Controversially, a lot of people are having dogs as pets. Some people feel very comfortable about that. What about the crisis in Ukraine, the Russian invasion? What do you feel about that? Is that something you want to talk about or tell us about? You might have some information or comments to make. And perhaps the rise in energy bills. There's so much, everything's open to you. So I'll let you think about that. Please remember, nothing illegal, immoral or too controversial. So, on to our guest, a very special guest, somebody very talented, extremely hardworking, a teacher by profession, an author, radio presenter, homeopathic practitioner. He is, in addition to that, involved in so many different charities, both in the UK, or should I say voluntary work rather, in the UK and back in Pakistan as well. But perhaps I would say his greatest achievement has been surviving the COVID-19. This time last year, I recall he was virtually on his deathbed on a ventilator in Pakistan, in Lahore. The fact that he survived and is here with us this evening is a miracle, and thanks to the Almighty, we are grateful for him for bringing him back to us. It's my great pleasure to welcome Ajaz Ahmed Ditta. Ajaz, very warm welcome to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Lovely to have you here. How are you feeling?
Good evening, Saj. Thanks very much for inviting me tonight. It's a pleasure for you to actually request my presence in this show tonight.
You're really,
thank you very much for very kind comments. I don't deserve them, but thanks very much.
No, you do. You. And one of the other features of Ajaz, he's a very humble and modest guy. He always has been, mashallah. Before we proceed, Ajaz, let me tell our lovely viewers of our live call number. I've given them all these possible subjects that they could ring in, talk about. So the live call number, which will go live shortly, is 0161 529 9455. 0161 529 9455. So back to Jazz. Jazz, it's not the most pleasant subject to talk about, but if we may, we'll start off with that period that you were in hospital in Pakistan. It is about a year ago, isn't it?
It is.
How did you end up
well,
there?
it's
What
coming
happened?
over to 12 months now, basically.
Yeah.
I went on a visit initially for 3 weeks.
Right.
On a break, because I normally go to Lahore anyway. I've got relatives there, and I like Lahore. It's a very buzzing and a fantastic city, as you probably are aware.
Yeah.
So I think a day prior to my departure, a day or so before coming back, I went for a COVID test, and I was diagnosed with COVID-19.
You were diagnosed
with COVID-19.
Right, before you travelled?
Before travelling,
Okay.
2-3 days prior to my departure.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what happened then, the next thing happened was I basically became very unstable. The fever wouldn't actually eliminate, the fever continued for a while. And I became very lethargic as well and tired and exhausted.
Well, how were you allowed to travel?
I wasn't traveling. I was going to be traveling anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, but before you travel, you have to have a
COVID-19
test.
Okay, yeah.
So I went for a test, and that's when I was diagnosed with a positive COVID-19 at the time.
Right.
So I wasn't allowed to travel.
Yes.
And then the next thing was I just ended up in my room and isolated.
So, sorry, this is the journey back from Pakistan.
The journey when I was over there at the time.
Yes, I see. Returning from
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you.
Returning,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And basically, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst experiences I've had in my life.
Yeah.
And for days and days, the fever would not actually.
No.
It wouldn't go at all.
No.
I was getting quite concerned and worried, and looking for help, whatever kind of help which was available to me at the time. I just wanted someone to give me assistance and support at the time. Okay. And the most worrying thing was I didn't have any close family members there at the time to assist me and support me, and no friends as well. As you know, I'm a foreigner.
I'm sure I was texting you, but just hold that there. We've already got a caller. Who's calling, please?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Muhammad Saab.
I'm Dr. Muhammad.
Welcome. How are you? Right.
In your introduction, you said this is open evening. So
well, this is especially for you, because I know I'm always telling you, I'll say, Dr. Muhammad, we're not talking about this tonight. And I thought Dr. Muhammad tonight can discuss what he likes. Go on, fire away. What is it you want to tell us?
You mentioned about today's very, leading in news that Russia has attacked Ukraine, and we all hope and pray that it doesn't proceed to a Cold War or even some
absolutely.
people saying World War.
Yes.
We all hope and pray for that. And I also heard in the news that Imran Khan, Pakistan Prime Minister, is also visiting Russia at this time.
Yes.
I met Imran Khan a number of times when he used to play cricket, and he was a very good captain, and we won.
How did you meet him? How do you know Imran Khan? Were you a cricketer as well, Dr. Muhammad?
Yes, not now, but when I was a school student, I used to.
Where did you study?
There's a famous college called Cadet College Hassan Abdal near Rawalpindi.
Okay.
And one of Imran Khan's cousin, Asad Majid Khan.
Okay, yes, Majid Khan.
Brother of Majid Jahangir Khan.
Yes.
I used to play with him,
Okay. Great.
But Imran Khan has been very, instrumental in bringing neutral umpire. He brought neutral umpires for a series against India. I think it was 89 or 90.
That's right. Yes.
So he is playing a neutral role now. He doesn't want to. I was listening to his interview with a Russian.
Dr. Saab, just to bring you back to that first topic that you started with, Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I know you follow politics very closely and you're very knowledgeable. Just very quickly assess for us what you think is going on and what the end game is likely to be.
Well, we hope and pray that, it ends peacefully. But, I must tell you that in 1965, when there was a war between Pakistan and India, Russia played a very vital role in bringing the two countries together. There was a Tashkent meeting between Indian and Pakistani leaders. And Ayub Khan was the president of Pakistan, and Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indian Prime Minister. And as I remember, Lal Bahadur Shastri died during that meeting. But, Russia has been very instrumental in bringing both the countries together. Right. And let's hope that as Imran Khan has brought in neutral umpire, so he bring neutral...
Dr. Saab, thank you very much as always. We really look forward to your calls and appreciate your comments. Thank you once again for contributing, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future. So thank you. Okay, so tell me, you're on this ventilator.
Yes, on the ventilator. Yeah, I was on the ventilator for about a number of days, I think it was. And personally, I was unconscious as well. I lost my senses, and the experience which I had was quite dreadful. I was, actually, I was in another world. I didn't know what was happening to myself. I was suffering, and I could feel the pain. And basically, they put me on a ventilator, and all I could feel was injections. And basically, they had.
So would you congratulate the Pakistan Health Service?
To be honest with you, I think I was very lucky to survive in Pakistan. I think the medical facilities and the equipment were absolutely outstanding. Which hospital were you in? Well, initially we went to a government hospital, a Mayo hospital in Lahore. But apparently that didn't really help. After a week or so, I noticed there wasn't any significant improvement. My brother then contacted a private hospital, which is called SAJ Mahal hospital in Lahore, and that's where actually I undertook further treatment, and that's where the recovery started. I think, But the medical facilities and the equipment and the treatment which I underwent was fantastic. I think,
Excellent. Right. Well, that's great to hear, and good to have you here. So, Ijaz, I've known you for a very long time. And I've always found you to be, obviously, I mentioned, quite humble. And would it be fair to say my observation or recollection of you as a youngster, as somebody who was quite shy and reserved and so forth? Would that be a fair thing to say?
I think you are absolutely correct. I was a reserved person. Yes. Until I went into teaching.
Right, that's my next question. What brought the transformation about?
The teaching is a big step, because when you actually are teaching, you are entering into a practical world. And you are dealing with the young people, you're dealing with teachers, you are dealing with the public, and you're dealing with many sectors. And then that's when your personality actually becomes more powerful and you become more energetic. Because you're interacting with the public.
It has to come out.
It has to come out. You're seen as a public figure as well. So this is when I think my shyness actually diminished with time. I think it was, So when I was young, I was quite shy, reserved. But with time, I think that's grown out now. I can interact, I can talk to anybody, I can basically have a conversation with anybody on the street without any issues.
Well, in fact, I mean, from that recollection that I just mentioned, what I have observed, and in fact I've really come to admire about you and find it quite inspiring, is that you now have a really positive attitude to life. You're very proactive, you're not afraid to get involved, and you're involved in all kinds of things. So let's just take you back. I think before you you're teaching where you have this very controversial situation at a particular school where you're involved in a tribunal. You're sacked unfairly.
Absolutely, that's right. We're talking. This happened in 2004, 2005. It wasn't sacked. It was actually the suspension at the time. At West Craven Technology College. And at the time, I didn't know what was happening, and basically, I then took the school to an employment tribunal. And I didn't have any legal background myself, and didn't have any solicitors as well.
So you took it yourself?
I took the case myself.
Right.
And I prepared the case myself with all the paperwork, with all the sort of evidence and the factual evidence as well. And they had barristers and solicitors as well. So Alhamdulillah, with Allah's help, I did actually, I was a winner at the time. And basically, the whole purpose of the case was to prove that discrimination was apparent. And the school were guilty of institutional racism. And they didn't have proper procedures in place at the time to tackle racism as well. So this is a sort of a historical tribunal which is on the records as well. So I think it's down to basically you have to sort of prove your case, and you need to get your facts right, and you need to have concrete evidence as well. And if you do have evidence and substantial sort of information and knowledge, then you can...
But presumably, apart from that, you need quite a bit of knowledge and understanding of the legal process and the law.
Yes, there were some points at the time which I did pick up on the law as well. I mean, I don't have a background in law. So at the time, I did actually research myself, some framework of the law ethics at the time, and this is where actually I won the case. And the solicitor and barrister were quite surprised. Where did he get all this evidence from? So this was quite a unique, I think, remarkable victories as well at the time.
He was, yeah,
yes,
very
and
famous.
it's a lesson for the generations to come.
Right.
That teaching should be open and should be valued by everybody.
Yes.
There should be no discrimination whatsoever. But now I think time has come now where ethnic minorities and the teachers are recognised.
Yes.
They are in quite a lot of powerful positions as well.
Yeah. Good, excellent. What was it that made you go into teaching then, Ijaz?
I think it's a skill, and it's something I think I thought gaining knowledge and passing on to others is a very useful asset. Yeah. Basically, I'm using my skills, I'm using my expertise, I'm using my knowledge, and if I can become a role model for the younger generations to come, and I can sort of develop their future, that is something very special, I think. So you are passing on knowledge which you've gained over the years yourself, and you are equipping the youth of the future, and you are developing their education, you're developing their personal, social education as well, and you are seen as a role model in the classrooms. This is one of the reasons why I went into teaching.
So what stage did you go into homeopathy? What led you to that path?
Again, a very good question. This was on my visit to Pakistan in Lahore. This was talking about 2 decades ago.
Yes.
And my cousin is a doctor himself, he's a homeopathic practitioner.
Oh, right, okay. In Pakistan, in Lahore?
Yeah, in Lahore,
yeah.
He recommended me to do a course and basically get myself involved.
What, in Pakistan or here?
Over here.
Here, right. He suggested the course.
He suggested, yeah.
In Pakistan, he said, do this.
Actually, I went for a visit. He said, well, this is a course you can do over there.
Oh, right, okay.
So then I thought about it. I thought this is very interesting and quite a very useful area to get into.
Yes.
So when I came over here, I did a course in homeopathic medicine. I qualified as a homeopath.
What was the course? And
it was a diploma in homeopathic medicine.
And where was that?
That was done at Sussex University.
What
yeah, there was basically weekend courses which I had to attend.
Yes, okay.
And
fine.
plus, in addition, there was a correspondence course.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
Online as well at the time.
Good.
So this is how I qualified, but I've actually enhanced my skills in that field.
Since then, yes.
I've done a higher diploma in homeopathy and further the courses as well.
Yes.
And again, the main motive was to help people.
Yes, of course.
From an alternative perspective more than anything else.
Well, sorry to keep you. Take you back to take you back to your ventilator in Lahore, and whilst you got COVID, were you in a position to think about homeopathy and any of your treatments that you give to the people? Were they applicable in that scenario?
To be honest with you, at the time I had lost my senses.
Yes, right.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't with myself at the time. You see.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was undergoing treatment and when I was quite severely poorly and ill, in my mind I was thinking whether I was confused whether I was in England or in England or whether I was in Pakistan.
Yes.
So the memory had gone, I would say. There was a memory weakness at the time.
Yeah.
So it was quite a tragic sort of a scenario, I would say. Yeah. And there wasn't any, I wasn't within my mind to think at the time.
Yes, okay, fine. Yeah, I just thought whether that might have crossed your mind. Okay, so you've done your course. What happens next? What makes you, sometimes people just do it for their interest.
Yeah, I mean, I personally did it because of my own interest, really.
Yes.
I don't work as a full-time homeopath. I'm a full-time teacher and a lecturer.
Yes.
So this is some kind of a hobby,
yes,
which I've actually developed over the last 2 decades.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, it's going fine. I get people coming in, contacting me.
But you get people from all over the country.
All over the country, yeah. I mean, mainly people get me from the internet, with different problems, you see, and different sort of diseases they may have. And sometimes the general practitioners can't help them.
Yes.
So they resort to homeopathy or alternative medicine to find out whether there's a solution for the individual or for the patient to enable them to recover.
Yes.
So I've had quite a lot of cases in the last 2 decades. I've got a handful of booklets with records and testimonials of many patients.
That's good.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Is there, obviously I understand the privacy aspect, but is there any 1 or 2 particular cases that you can share with us in terms of your success, I guess?
I mean, there's many. I mean, I would say I've got about 70 to 80% success rate. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
Initially, the first case I had was from Blackburn with a young individual. He was feeling suicidal.
Right.
And he wanted to commit suicide.
Right. Okay.
So I sort of took into consideration his symptoms, his background, his knowledge, his sort of historical medical history at the time.
Yeah.
And then in my conclusion, I sort of decided there's a medicine called Oromet.
Yeah.
And Oromet is a very good medicine for those who want to commit suicide.
Right.
So I prescribed him that, and I think after about a week or so, he came around to my clinic and he said, Alhamdulillah, I'm much better now. I have to thank you. I said, don't thank me, thank the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah,
because I'm just there as a source to help you.
Wow.
So just make sure that you spread the word of homeopathy around, because people have negative views about alternative medicine anyway. And I think it is a very rewarding medicine.
Yeah.
And the results are there. And obviously, if the results weren't there, I wouldn't be practicing myself. And there's another case which I had from Burnley recently. An individual, a patient, was suffering from psoriasis.
Okay.
And it was quite severe as well.
Yeah.
And this was prior to I got COVID.
Okay.
And I prescribed him a number of medicines. One of which was echinacea. The other one was hydrocortisone for a number of months, and his actually skin condition improved significantly.
Right.
So again, I mean, there's a number of cases. I get people who suffer from anxiety, depression, weakness, sexual problems, infertility. I had young ladies from Briarfield, who couldn't conceive.
Yeah.
And alhamdulillah, I can say, for the full heart, the homeopathy does help patients.
And it must be, you feel that's evolving all the time. Do you need to keep updating your skills and knowledge? And
yes, absolutely. A very good question, Saj. A very good point. I'm actually reading on homeopathy virtually every day.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
To update my knowledge. Every day I learn something.
Yeah.
And I believe that even if I was given another life, that life would not still be enough for me to sort of acquire the knowledge of homeopathy.
Yes.
This is how vast this field is.
Yes, of course.
So, I come across a lot of cases on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And it's not there. I don't do it because of financial intentions or to make money, because I'm a teacher myself. I'm fine. It's just I want to use alternative medicine to help the sick people and make sure that there's a form of treatment there. Different from the GPs.
Well, you've always had a charitable, very generous nature, so I think it's part of your personality. And I think it probably helps you in that respect as well, because it's not as though money is your motivation, but the person, the individual.
The individual, yes. The individual and the person. Once the patient becomes better and his condition improves, I feel very satisfied. I've done my job in this world.
You do. That must be one of the most rewarding.
Yeah, it is a rewarding thing. I've had many cases, where people actually have recovered and they ring me and they say, we are very happy. It's a rewarding for me. It gives me a boost to sort of move further in this field and to spread the word of homeopathy. So, and I believe in homeopathy, and I think it's a very good
And I think
area.
It has similarities in teaching as well. It's about caring, isn't it? That's what the profession is about, giving. It's wanting to make the other person, whether it's a child or an adult, make them better than they actually are, whether it's physically, psychologically, spiritually, or intellectually, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's about, you are being born for a purpose in this world, and your job in this world is to serve the humanity.
Right.
How you serve the humanity is for you to select and choose.
Wow.
And I think teaching is a very good area. Homeopathy is a very good area to serve people. It's okay for people to do business. That's fine. That's fantastic. Making money.
Well, that is a service.
That's service as well. Yes, you are serving
a lot of people in business. In fact, the essence of a good business is that you can provide a service, solve a problem for an individual.
Absolutely.
If you can do that, then money will flow. Obviously, without the money, there's no business.
That's right.
But until you can meet the needs of the individual, provide them with something that they need, then you're not going to have a successful business.
No, absolutely not. So I think it's very important and very vital for the young people of nowadays to make sure that they do acquire education, at least up to university level, and I would say beyond university level as well, because there's a lot of competition out there at this moment in time. So every young person, my message for them today is to ensure that they do well in their education and make sure that they serve the community in the right order.
Okay. We will be going for a short break very shortly, probably in about 30 seconds. When we come back, we're going to discuss this book that Ijaz has written, Many Rivers to Cross. I'll be very interested to find out more about that. As I mentioned, he is a regular contributor, edits and contributes to this magazine as well, Scene. So he's a very active person, as I mentioned. So we will be discussing that more when we come back from the break. And of course, I'll mention the live call number again. Just 5 seconds left. So 0161 529 9455. Inshallah, we shall see you after our short break. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing you shortly.
کیوں کرنا ہو میں یار صفا فاطمہ زہرا کیوں کرنا ہو میں یار صفا فاطمہ زہرا کیوں کرنا ہو میں یار صفا فاطمہ زہرا ہے دختر محبوب خدا فاطمہ زہرا ہے دختر محبوب خدا فاطمہ زہرا کیوں کرنا ہو میں یار صفا فاطمہ زہرا مادر ہے وہ زینب کی حسین اور حسن کی مادر ہے وہ زینب کی حسین اور حسن کی ہے آل محمد کی رضا فاطمہ زہرا ہے آل محمد کی رضا فاطمہ زہرا ہے دختر محبوب خدا فاطمہ زہرا پوچھا جو کسی نے کہ ہے خاتون جنا کون پوچھا جو کسی نے کہ ہے خاتون جنا کون آہستہ سے رضوان کہا فاطمہ زہرا آہستہ سے رضوان کہا فاطمہ زہرا کیوں کرنا ہو میں یار صفا فاطمہ زہرا علی علی کربلیا علی علی کربلیا علی علی کربلیا علی علی کربلیا بیلیا علی علی کربلیا علی علی کربلیا علی علی کربلیا करबेलिया जावेगा तरबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया ओ बेलिया जावेगा तरबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया और कुदसी भी नौकरी करण कुदसी भी नौकरी करण कुदसी भी नौकरी करण कुदसी भी नौकरी करण है दर्द करबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया जो भी लाइव देख रहे हैं मिल के कहिए अली अली करबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया ओ बेलिया अली 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 करबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया। और शेर सुनिए कि ऐडियां विकी कदूरता ऐडियां विकी कदूरता ऐडियां विकी कदूरता ऐडियां विकी कदूरता अल्लाह को लो डर बेलिया अली अली करबेलिया अली 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 करबेलिया अली अली करबेलिया।
अल्लाहु अकबर अल्लाहु अकबर ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह।
Back everyone, thank you very much for rejoining us. I've got Ijaz Ahmed Ditta here with me. We were just finishing off talking about his homeopathy career. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
You are, absolutely, yes.
Right?
Homeopathy, yes, that's right, correct.
We have a caller thing. Right, okay, let's go to the caller straight away then. Who's calling, please?
Yes, assalamu alaikum, brother Sajad, this Harun Zaman, and salam to your guest, Ijaz Ahmed Saab.
Arun Bhai, thank you very much for calling. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. These homeopathic remedies are so wonderful. I commend you to bring Ijaz Ahmed Saab to this program because COVID had given us a lot of problems, and the more we understand the alternatives, the more support we can give to our good health, not only for COVID but for others, which I'm sure Ijaz Bhai has already. What I say is that I traveled 4 countries in the last 4 months, and Alhamdulillah, I had this long and Kalwanji and Darchini. Sorry for mixing the Urdu English. I kept them in my mouth, and Alhamdulillah, in 4 countries, not at one stage did I fall ill. I kept them in my mouth whenever I was in the crowd, in the buses, in Istanbul metros, in the aircraft. So I thank you for your details you have given to your viewers, including myself.
Thank you for sharing that, Rumbai. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Thank you again for your contribution. Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum. Right, I wonder if we can just put that clip up with the vitamin D. Whilst my colleagues hopefully, right, there we go, right, okay. So I've got involved in this project very indirectly actually. I didn't even know I was being involved or what it was. But basically it is promoting the use of vitamin D, particularly amongst the South Asian community. Ijaz, do you want to enlighten us why that is so important to us?
I think vitamin D is very important, especially if we're living in a country where we don't actually have enough sunlight and sunshine.
Yes.
So we are lacking in vitamin D in the society, and there's a big deficiency.
Right.
Now, in order to get vitamin D, people go abroad for sunlight and to get in
which they haven't been able to.
Which is difficult because of COVID regulations as well. So vitamin D plays a very important role in your body in terms of your bone development and your structure as well. If your bones become weak and they become very inflexible with time.
Okay.
So it's important that you do take vitamin D in order to recover any losses in the long run. And it is quite a good supplement, I would say.
Is there which foods apart from taking the pills that we can get vitamin D from?
There's many foods and very fruits which you can actually access from supermarkets which contain vitamin D.
Okay.
I mean, spinach is quite good. Cereals are very good as well.
Okay. We'll hold that. We have another caller. Who's calling, please?
Hello.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. It's Khalid Ahmed.
Khalid Ahmed.
Yeah, I'm calling from Ireland.
Calling from Ireland. Khalid Sahab, yes. Thank you very much for ringing. Go ahead, sir. What would you like to say?
Just want to give you some awareness and bring to your attention what's happening around Europe and especially in Ireland, the rise of intolerance, discrimination, racism.
Great. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's right forum to talk about it, but just wanted to highlight what's happening around here.
Excellent. Whereabouts are you in Ireland?
I'm in Republic of Ireland, in Galway.
Galway?
Galway.
As it happens, I've been there. What a beautiful part of the world. Carry on, sir.
Yeah, it's just right here. I'm here now nearly 20 years.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm living here, working here with the family. I have 2 kids.
What do you do there, sir?
I'm working here in a medical company. That's a medical company, Boston Scientific.
Okay, right. So carry on. Tell us what you rang up for and share with the public about the various issues that you're concerned about.
Yeah, it's just want to highlight, I don't know if the people are much aware of Republic of Ireland. It's just want to make people aware of our community.
Yes.
Yeah, that there is rise of intolerance here against foreigners, especially Muslims. There's various attacks happening here, and
really?
Then it's just generally they don't like foreigners. Somehow they hate people. They don't let you be happy. Just wanted to make you aware of.
Well, I am a little bit surprised and shocked, to be honest, because my impression has always been the Irish being very accommodating and very friendly and so on. But you've given us a totally different impression this evening. Okay. Right, I'm sorry, unfortunately we've lost him. But thank you very much for that excellent contribution. Ijaz,
yeah, well, I don't really have any experience of any Irish sort of face-to-face with anybody over there. So I really can't comment on what my experience is. I can only comment for where I'm living and where I'm staying. Maybe that might be the case that Irish people are racist or not. I don't know. I can't comment.
We can't say Irish people are, but unfortunately, this gentleman's experience has not been a positive.
He must have had a bad experience somewhere, and he's actually he wants to share his experience with the audience. I mean, he's more than willing to do so, more than welcoming. But I really can't comment on the Irish people.
No, Irish people, by and large, my experience has been a very positive one, and I think, obviously, as I said, the gentleman's experience sadly hasn't been as a positive one.
Yeah, I don't think it's been a pleasant experience for him. For some reason, he's actually been caught up in racism.
Yeah, well, racism sadly is everywhere.
It's everywhere,
and it is something we all need to fight as best we can address. And in ways, this is what SAJ Mahal is, in fact, Takbeer TV stands for, actually, is to fight ignorance and put across positive images, experiences of Pakistani Muslim people, and this is what I try to do by having the various guests contributing to say, look at all the positive contributions we are making in all kinds of different fields. So, okay, I think we better move on to your book, Jaz. There it is, Many Rivers to Cross. So, Jaz, why... Oh, hang on, call quickly. I warn you this might happen. Who's calling, please?
My name is Zahoor Qureshi, calling from London.
Calling from London. Sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name again.
Zahoor Qureshi.
Zahoor Saab, Zahoor Qureshi, please fire away. What would you like to say?
Just a couple of things. I'm not sure whether Ajaz has already covered this.
Okay.
It seems Ajaz has done quite a lot in his life,
yes.
from being an educationalist to writing a book to being a homeopathic practitioner and so on.
Yes.
Two things. First of all, Ajaz, where do you get motivation for all this?
Sorry, I didn't.
Where do you get motivation to do all this?
I think that's a very good, excellent question.
And the second thing, Ajaz, is that where do you find the time from?
Oh, excellent sort of point you made. Basically, I've always been committed in my life and dedicated here. I mean, I've got television at home. To be honest with you, I hardly turn the TV on.
Right. Because
most of my life is centered around working for people and helping people. And that's the way I think I see myself anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think, you know, if you have good time management skills,
yes,
and if you are committed and if you're dedicated, then everything is possible.
And it's something you enjoy and find really very rewarding.
I find it very rewarding, and I find it a very sort of encouraging as well, I think.
Yeah.
And very enthusiastic to help people. And I think that's the way every human being should be. You know, we should not be wasting our time or wasting our days. You know, days go by, hours go by, minutes go by, and also, all of a sudden we realize that we are on our deathbed. And we need to think very carefully what we're going to achieve in our life and what we're going to leave behind.
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons why I left my book.
Yeah.
And this the reason
nicely onto the book. Yeah.
Yes. The reason why I wrote the book is, it's a very good question people might ask is, the question which you want to ask yourself, what are you going to leave behind when you go from this world?
Yes.
And I believe you need to leave a very important message for the young people and for the generations to come. So people who can actually read upon your biography and learn something from you, and learn about, you know, the skills and learn about the sort of expertise which I may have. I'm not saying I'm brilliant, but, you know, I may have something which I have learned in my life, which I can pass on to others. Yeah. So this is the whole purpose of writing the book. At least I've left something behind which people can benefit from for the next few generations.
Excellent. Okay. Was there a particular time that arrived, you thought, I must do this? Had you been thinking about it a long time? What seems to me, you've got that personality. You get something and you do it.
Yeah, I think, I'm past the middle age now, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, what have I achieved in my life?
Yes.
You know, what goals have I achieved? You know, what have I done to serve the humanity?
Right.
You know, have I done anything useful which I've done? Have I done anything, you know, which is credible? So this is why the book clicked into my mind, and I decided to write a book.
Yeah. And
the book was written during the period of COVID-19.
Right.
When there was a lockdown as well.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised that it's not just writing the book, it's not a very easy task.
No.
But actually proofreading it and getting it checked over and over again, this is a big mission. And it took me so many times to proofread it. Every time I read it, there was a mistake somewhere.
Yes.
So it has to be 100% accurate before I actually publish it and bring it into the public.
Yes.
So alhamdulillah, I did achieve the ambition of writing the book, and it was actually published in Pakistan, Lahore, where I went during my COVID-19 crisis.
Yes.
And I brought along myself 300-400 copies as well.
Yes.
And also it's available on Amazon, and it's also available in bookstores as well. So it's a message for young people and generation, how to utilize their time, how to use their time wisely and effectively, rather than wasting their time, you know. And what I don't want is young people to go on drugs and alcohol and destroy their life, basically. I want the young people to make sure that they play a very important role in the society in which they live.
Right. Zahoor Qureshi, I didn't get a chance to thank you. Really appreciate your call, and I hope you raised a very good point, and I hope you got the answer that you wanted. I've been smiling away when you've been discussing your book, Jaz. I don't know, I might have mentioned to you, I've been trying to write one for about 20 years, and this is why I admire you, because you sort of say, I'm writing a book, and next minute you've done it. And it seems to you do that quite a lot in various areas of your life. You make a decision and you just
I think, you know, if once you make a decision and you're determined and you're committed, anything is possible, you know, nothing is impossible in this world. You know? I don't think the word impossible exists. If you are dedicated and if you are committed in something, you want to achieve something, then you can do it. Nothing's stopping you. I don't know what's actually what's the hesitation?
Who was, as you growing up or reached this level of maturity, who were your heroes or who inspired you, Ijaz?
I think this is a very good question, Saj, you've asked me. I think, alhamdulillah, there are a lot of people in this community who have passed away. You know, I had teachers from the local mosques, so we had, I mean, I went to both mosques locally. I went to the Lancashire Mosque as well, where we had Hafiz Amin Saab. May Allah be pleased with him. Then I went to Medina Mosque as well. I got my education from Medina Masjid, where we had Maulana Wazir Khan, Qari Abdul Aziz Azhar, and many other prominent figures in the community. Who have passed away sadly.
Local people.
Local people who were basically my role models, and had close relatives in Pakistan, my cousin.
We'll come back to that very quickly. We have our another caller, which may well be the last caller of the evening. Who's calling, please?
Hello, bye, Saj. It's Smina.
Smina, right, thank you. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
Okay, yeah, very quickly. Sorry it's so late that I'm ringing.
It's all right, just go ahead. Tell us what you...
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to ask your guest today about the homeopathic practicing that he does. That a lot of the time when you're going for alternative medicines or therapies, they actually always say consult your GP first. Is that absolutely necessary, or is any advice on that, or why that we're always told that?
Personally, to be honest with you, I never say to them, consult your GP first. If the choice of the individual or the patient, whether they want to see the GP or not, but majority of the cases, I get the patient has already gone treatment with the GP and it's not helped. So this is why they resort to homeopathy. So I never say to them, you know, you go and see your GP, because that's not my kind of a duty anyway. I mean, I do get a question quite a few times, should we take the medicine alongside with the GP's medicine? I said, perfectly, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But personally, you know, I never recommend them to see them, you know, I don't ask them to go and see GP. That is their decision whether they want to or not, entirely up to them.
Good. Okay. Are you still there, Smina? No, she's gone. No, okay, great. I hope that answered your question, and thank you very much for ringing. Really appreciate it. Ajaz, so your book, we mentioned it, apparently you're writing another one.
Alhamdulillah, yes. I'm in the process of finalizing another book. It's written, but I'm just waiting for the cover to be actually...
just quickly tell us what...
This particular book is on homeopathy.
Okay, of course.
And the title is A to Z Homeopathy. And hopefully this book will be available free of charge for the community. Obviously, this is my mission. So I'm hoping that in the next few months it will be up and running.
Fantastic, right, great. Okay, I mentioned in the introduction about the various voluntary work that you do here and in Pakistan. Just quickly tell us about those different roles that you've got.
Yes, I do a lot of voluntary work as well. I have been involved in a number of voluntary projects. Again, it's for the betterment of the community and the society. I mean, currently I've got 2 projects set up in Pakistan. There's a secondary school which I'm running, and a primary school. Well, primary and secondary school, they both are combined, and I sponsor it myself. And this is running in Greentown, Lahore. That's one of the projects. The other project is a homeopathic clinic centre, which operates on a weekly basis on a Wednesday, and medicines are given free of charge to patients who are from poor backgrounds. And my cousin, a doctor there, he's running that practice as well.
He gives his own time.
He gives his own time.
And so these free, are you paying for that then?
I sponsor it annually myself, annually. Annually.
Right, okay, fantastic.
So I actually sponsor that myself again.
Brilliant, okay. So also here in the UK, you're involved in some, the Lancashire Mosques?
Yes, I was actually the regional manager of Lancashire Council of Mosques.
What does that mean?
The regional manager of Lancashire Council of Mosques, it was a very important role to serve the mosques and to raise funding for the Lancashire Council of Mosques, and also to develop interfaith programs amongst the community, and to sort of get the Muslims and the non-Muslims involved.
Very good, very important.
To make them aware of the religion.
And build up tolerance of each other and respect. And
absolutely. So there were issues around halal meat issues we had to discuss. There were youngsters invited from schools to come into the mosques to find out what mosques offer and what are the facilities available in the masjid. It's not just a religious centre, but it's a community centre as well.
Right, I'm sorry, Jaz, would you believe it? We've only got a minute left.
That's
right,
fine.
very quickly, what advice would you give to any youngsters watching?
I think it's a very important advice to young people. You must work hard.
Yes.
And you must aim for your goal.
Yeah.
And you must not give up.
Yeah.
And do not ever come near drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because once you become addicted to drugs or alcohol or cigarettes, I would say,
Yeah.
then it's difficult, for you to move forward. Just work hard, be motivated, aim for your goal, and then you will achieve your mission in life. Don't waste time as well.
MashaAllah, fantastic advice. And of course, respect your elders and your parents. Listen to them.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that? Right, okay. Well, I think in summing up, Jaz, it's been a great pleasure having you. We've covered a lot of area. I'm really impressed, as I said. I've known you for a very long time, since you were a small child. And it's very satisfying for me to see you in this phase of your life. You've obviously got a very clear vision of what you want to do with your life. You've got a kind of philosophy of your life sorted out. And it gives you great pleasure and satisfaction and contentment in terms of what you're trying to achieve in your life. And of course, we all know this, that if more people in the world could see that really the essence of humanity is to help one another, help to improve the lives of one another, and not really be in competition with one another. If we can just see that, maybe I'm sure the world will be a much better place. Just final remarks as we finish.
I think I would like to thank you sincerely for inviting me in the program. It's very kind of you, and thank you for your time and for having me on the show tonight.
It's great to have you. Thank you, viewers. Thank you for everybody who rang up. Thank you for watching. Inshallah, we will see you again very soon. Take care, stay safe, and best of luck for the forthcoming future. Assalamu alaikum.